our next movie stars Sally
I'm
Field.
also a Philadelphia fan, by the way.
Yeah. And it is number 2 at the box office, the second movie to beat Avatar since Avatar came out, because Avatar finished third this week. And it is 80 for Brady. Zach, you said we have to review this thing. And you get to be the one, you did, and you get to be the one that starts talking about it. So tell us about 80 for Brady and what you thought.
Before I stopped drinking. So 80 for Brady, Todd says that he is a Shyamalan hater. And after this movie, I am a Kyle Marvin hater. I don't know what else he's done.
Wait, you haven't seen The Climb. That was one of the best movies of 2020.
Oh, okay. Has he directed anything? It only says he's a producer.
He's the writer star of The Climb.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
Which none of you saw.
I've never heard of that movie. Nope. Okay.
Except for when I talked about it on our top 10 list, but yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay. 80 for Brady is the movie we all know and love because they've been making the media rounds on it. If you didn't notice, this week Tom Brady retired, and hey, 2 days later his movie comes out. Nothing to see here. It stars everyone's favorite octogenarian quartet: Rita Moreno, Sally Field, Jane Fonda, and not Patton Oswalt, Lily Tomlin. And all of them have won Oscars except Lily Tomlin, I believe.
That's just insane.
80 for Brady is set. It's, I guess, loosely based on a true story about Tom Brady's appearance in Super Bowl 51 when he beat the Falcons, and a group of elderly women in the Boston area that won tickets to the game and went there, and apparently one of whom helped Matt Patricia and the defense figure out how to stop Matt Ryan, because Lily Tomlin does a spoiler alert. She gets on the headset later in this movie, and basically she is the driving force behind the comeback. I did not know that in football history.
I mean, Brady was just phoning it in until Lily Tomlin showed up. So
exactly. When Gene Siskel saw Fargo in February of 1996, he said, "It's over. This is the best movie of the year. I have to see another movie." I feel that same way about 80 for Brady. There will not be a worse movie this year than 80 for Brady. It is absolutely insufferable, and we can talk about all the movie things, because it's the screenplay is awful, the dialogue is awful, the situations are just atrocious. There's no chemistry between the cast, which is why they have to put them in different situations. The celebrity cameos are low energy, D+ celebrity cameos. The worst part about it, though, besides also the plugging with the promotion, the Microsoft and the CarMax and all that, is Brady retiring. Brady choosing to end the greatest NFL career of any quarterback to promote this movie. I mean, is he that strapped for cash? He's going to get freaking Greg Olson's job on Fox. Okay, he's probably going to be commentating the Super Bowl by the time this episode airs. Why does he need to saddle his career legacy onto this absolute garbage movie? Not only is it garbage, but all it is just worship of Tom Brady. Tom Brady used to really care about his image. He used to be this kind of cool guy. Well, I thought he cared enough about his image to not believe that he would make a movie about a bunch of Tom Brady worshiping sycophants. That doesn't exactly help his image as the cool, selfless hero that he wants to portray in the media. This movie is relentless Brady hegemony. And as a relapsed former Patriots fan, I can say this movie also had a number of inaccuracies, one of which was in the first scene, which is that the 2016 AFC title game was played at night, and those old ladies are definitely watching it during the day. But many other things ensue. I mean, how about the flashback when it just so happens that Drew Bledsoe just got hit by Mo Lewis, and look who comes in. They're all watching it at the same time. That scene was absolutely ridiculous. There's not a shred of originality in this movie. It's boring. It's awful. It's an absolute train wreck. And I couldn't believe it was only an hour and 35 minutes. It was a complete waste of my life.
So your rating is
half a star.
Half a star.
It's not evil. It's not evil in the way that The Bubble was, but it's Space Jam level in that it is pushing its agenda on a hapless population, and is a horrible way that incredibly talented actors are getting attached to this project. It's just terrible. Shame.
Yeah, so this was the second part of my double feature on Friday night.
Hopefully you fell asleep during this
I
one
watched
too.
Knock at the Cabin. I didn't fall asleep during either. I'll be a little more generous. I'm going 1.5 stars. There were a couple things I laughed at, but for the most part, it was pretty cringeworthy and just like, I mean, these actresses are better than this, right? Like that's what I kept saying to myself. Like they're better than this, right? The best part of the movie was actually watching the game.
Yes, it was a
Like
great game.
like the footage they had of the game is like, all right, they like tapped into NFL Films or something here because this is actually good footage, and that was when the game or when the movie actually got good, just when they were showing the highlights of the game. But yeah, uh, there were so many weird performances in this, not outside of the four main characters, which you're right, they didn't really work together at all. There was just some weird stuff in there, but um Kyle Moffat and Rob Corddry as the radio guys, that was weird. That didn't really work. Guy Fieri, what? I mean that's not a scene for a movie with this talent level in it. I mean, what is Sally Field doing? Um, I think the
She
one
has
thing,
to go. She has to leave now. Sorry.
Yeah.
Had to put that in there.
I think the one line I laughed the hardest at was when Rita Moreno finally realized she was playing poker, and she goes, "Am I winning?" And Patton Oswalt says, "You are killing. You just keep telling us you're taking us to Flavortown. Then you nicknamed me Brisket." Like that was that was the best line of the whole movie, and it was because it was from Patton Oswalt, and let alone that there were Marshawn Lynch and other guys around the table. Yeah, so I'll give it 1.5. It wasn't the worst thing in the world, but it was pretty bad. It was pretty bad. Like this is gonna be most likely on my bottom 5 of the year, and if not, then I saw a lot of crappy movies this year. Spoiler alert to January 2024, but yeah, it's not good. It's not good. Todd, how about you? Like look at that. Look at them
Oh.
right there.
There we go.
Lots of Botox.
Okay. This is
Including Tom.
yes, it's directed by one of the guys behind The Climb. It's written by the writers of Booksmart. It's got all these Oscar winners in it. Yeah, and as Zach said, it comes out the week after Brady retires, which is the same as the movie that was on Zach's Best of the Year list last year when Sean
I
Payton
have a
retired.
conspiracy theory later, by the way.
Sean Payton retired a week before that too.
Oh gosh.
I love this movie. I absolutely love this movie. It was amazing. Okay, so it's weird because it reminded me of Chasing 3000, which is that movie where two brothers, one of them is like really sick and they're traveling around trying to watch Roberto Clementi's 3000th hit. Not just because like this plot is pretty similar, but like that was my 3000th movie and I'm like 50 away from 6000. It's kind of funny how that works. But anyway, the movie is just immediately infectious, from the joy of the actors that they're having to the soundtrack to the actual sports. It has these in-jokes, and in one of the funniest ways, it's all from like a different angle. It's like in-jokes about the actors too, which is really self-referential and kind of insightful. And I think it's absurdly cute watching this movie. Glenn Turman is amazing. He has this like one scene where I think it's the best acting I've seen in 2023. He's in the assisted living place with Rita Moreno. He's amazing. Of course, Terry mentions all the terrible actors that are in this, but he didn't mention Bob Balaban, who's really funny. And
he just shows
in his underwear.
And Harry
Bob Balaban
Hamlin
was better in Lady in the Water.
Yeah, whatever, Terry. I mean,
Totally
Harry Hamlin
was.
from Mad Men. He's great in this as well as a former Patriot, I believe. And Lily Tomlin, I think, has most to play with. She absolutely shines. And the movie has like a little bit of going in style in it, where it's like these old people playing out their last adventure, or like any of those comedies like Stand Up Guys or Marigold Hotel or whatever, where like reminding us like you could still be funny in your later age. And you could tell that they had a blast making this. There's a little bit of Take Me Home Tonight in it, definitely some of The League, and the slightest bit of Forrest Gump. I think Brady is amazing in this. Gronk isn't so good though. It's unbelievable how well this movie works. The director is fantastic. The footage they have is pretty incredible. and I almost want to give it 4 stars, but I'm going with 3. It's like a really high 3 stars. This movie was awesome. I was the only one under like 70 in the theater, but it was pretty packed.
I was the only one in the theater because I saw it at 9 o'clock on a Friday night, and so everyone else that was interested in the movie was in bed.
I guess. I mean, I saw it at like 7:30 on Friday night, and there was a lot of people there.
Another line I did laugh at. I was the only one in the theater, so I was constantly pulling out my phone and texting myself quotes from this movie. But this was during the game, as the comeback is happening. It was the one good moment from the Kyle Moffat, Rob Corddry radio broadcast because they couldn't use the actual audio from the game. They say Danny Amendola. He has a skull like a baby bird, but his hands are like Midas. I was like, what? Really? That we're going there? We're going there, but okay.
The one part I laughed at was Rita Moreno's boyfriend, Glenn Turman, when he pulls the fire alarm, or he goes over the loudspeaker, and says, "Pat Sajak is signing autographs." I like that. That was the most clever the movie ever got. But Todd, we're not being punked, right? I mean, you actually like this movie?
No, I mean, I really liked it. There was part of me that was giving it 3.5 stars. Like I had a blast watching this, and like I said, there's a lot of things, like it has a lot of that like fish out of water kind of thing, like going back to doing something that you could have done in your past. Like I said, Take Me Home Tonight is what I thought of, where, you know, going back to your like reunion with, but like reliving your high school days kind of thing. That's sort of what we're getting here. And I mean, I thought it worked really well. And I mean, and I don't think I'm alone. This movie got really good reviews. You guys are heartless. I mean, I don't understand it. You're giving thumbs up to that bullshit Shyamalan movie, man. This movie actually killed.
I don't understand how you like this more than Knock at the Cabin. This
isn't even a movie. This is just a collection of paychecks being cashed in. Like, Knock at the Cabin is a story. This is not a story. This is sitcom-y situations with cutaways when the writing becomes too difficult. Like, and set pieces and situations. Like, I mean, and then the scene when they're on drugs. I mean, how many movies are we going to have to see with old ladies going on drugs at parties? Like, that was straight out of that one movie with Blythe Danner. Like, all we need is Martin Starr in this movie, and it's the same thing. Like, there's nothing original in this movie whatsoever, and it's not funny or charming at all. But I'm glad you had a good time, and I agree with you. People are finding this movie charming, but I don't know how you can get behind a movie that is so like suspiciously aligned with Brady's actual retirement. I mean, I thought we were cynical.
You love that other movie. You love that Sean Payton movie.
I gave that 2.5 stars. You like to overstate that. I thought it was pleasant and way better than this movie. That movie had a story. This movie that
was a kid's movie. This movie actually was funny.
This movie is a little more mature. Yeah, that's true. Oh, look at that. That's amazing. I'm sure this is what Sally Field envisioned the end of her career to be like, and Jane Fonda, and it's just depressing.
I will say, okay, a couple things.
Sally Kirkland's in this too, another Oscar nominee.
I will say I feel like this has a good rewatchable quality to it though. Like, I could hate watch this thing over and over again, and the more I'd watch it, the more I'd laugh at it, which is another reason why I'll give it 1.5 instead of completely dump on it. But okay, my conspiracy theory. I have this conspiracy theory. Did anybody notice the last scene of the movie? The last scene of the movie, like the cutaway scene when they're all when they're sitting on the beach talking to Tom Brady about retiring.
Right.
And then Tom Brady retires in a
like
TikTok
what
video
you're saying, it was
beach.
the same location.
It's all
totally. That's, I mean, this is all. It was all a promotion. I'm expecting in a week for Tom Brady to come out and say, "Psych! It was all to promote my movie. Go see it. It's 80 for Brady."
It was exactly the same as LeBron in Space Jam. That was his whole thing too. He's got to sell his brand, sell his name. This is not a movie. This is an advertisement.
It worked pretty well.
And they tried to.
And okay, I mean, Zach, you like, okay, I guess you don't like Forrest Gump either, but like you saying that oh yeah, of course, yeah, she gets on the headset and changes the game or whatever. That's Forrest Gump. That's the whole premise of Forrest Gump. Like there is some of that in this movie. I don't understand either of your criticisms of it. I feel like you were gonna hate it from the get go, and I don't even like Tom Brady, but I thought this movie was charming as hell.
I noticed that they didn't talk at all about Deflategate or Spygate or Brady endorsing Trump. Like it's not gonna focus on anything negative in his career. It's not gonna talk about the losses to the Giants. Didn't touch on the next year when they lost to the Eagles. Like it's only just this perfect vision of Tom Brady being. They didn't even talk about how he went to
Somebody
Tampa.
see him.
I was totally expecting to like this movie because, like you said, it had been getting great reviews and everything. And then I walked in there, and within 5 minutes, I went, "Wait, this is what this movie is."
It would have been funny to have a scene with Giselle.
It's total just like fish out of water. That would have been funny. Yeah.
I mean, it's weird enough seeing him in a Patriots jersey. Like the fact that he agreed to do that. But they had to set it around that one because when you find out when the movie is set, you're like, okay, I kind of know where this is gonna end up going. But
is that bad that I knew that wasn't Tom Brady's haircut from that Super Bowl?
Well, yeah,
that was also a continuity error that I didn't appreciate.
Did they, like,
your
CGI
fandom
that?
of Brady is what's killing this movie for you.
Yeah.
Like,
well,
man, that game was played at night. They watched it during the day. It could have been a recording. They're old.
Did they CGI his hair, like, or just him in general?
You guys are heartless. This movie was awesome.
I don't know. With that said, I wouldn't mind watching it again just so I could laugh at it, not with it. So, all right, we're moving on. We gotta move on. 80 for Brady. It's in theaters. Todd gave it 3 stars. I'm giving it 1.5. Zach is giving it 0.5 star. It's in theaters. If this sounds interesting at all, go see it.